Have you ever been jolted awake in the middle of the night by a leg cramp, as if someone had flipped a pain switch? Do your legs feel heavy, stiff, tired, even cold, despite being bundled up? Have you noticed that at the end of the day your ankles are swollen and your socks leave a deep mark that takes a while to disappear? Let me tell you something important. This isn't normal. These aren't just minor aches and pains of aging or inevitable punishments of old age. And above all, it's not something you have to resign yourself to living with. These signs can be the first warnings that your veins, those silent highways that carry blood back to your heart, are starting to have problems. It's like an internal traffic jam that slows the flow of life within your body. And when that traffic is backed up for too long, the risk increases. Varicose veins, chronic inflammation, poor tissue oxygenation, and even more serious conditions like deep vein thrombosis. I'm Dr. Leon Ferrer, and today we're not just going to focus on the symptoms. We're going to get to the root of the problem. We're going to talk about the science behind a specific vitamin that plays a key role in the health of your circulatory system. A vitamin that helps keep the walls of your veins strong, elastic, and protected. A vitamin that promotes freer and more efficient blood flow. And here's the interesting part. It's probably not the first vitamin that comes to mind when you think about circulation. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes you'll discover how a simple nutrient, present in common foods you may already have in your kitchen, can become a powerful tool for restoring lightness, energy, and vitality to your legs. But before I reveal which vitamin it is, we need to understand what's happening inside your body. Imagine your circulatory system as a gigantic network of highways. The arteries are modern-day freeways that carry oxygen-rich blood from the heart to every corner of the body. They flow powerfully, driven directly by the heart's pumping action. Veins, on the other hand, have a much more challenging task. They must collect used blood and return it to the heart, often climbing uphill against gravity. To accomplish this, they rely on tiny internal valves and the movement of the leg muscles. When these valves weaken, when vein walls lose elasticity, or when blood flow slows, blood begins to pool. It stagnates. And that's when cramps, heaviness, swelling, and that uncomfortable feeling of tired legs appear. These aren't coincidences. They are clear messages from your body asking for help. And recognizing them early is the first big step toward regaining control of your circulatory health. Many of my patients come to my office convinced that their discomfort is simply just getting old. They think it's normal to feel this way and that there's nothing they can do. But when I explain what's really happening inside their bodies, their perspective changes completely. They understand that what they need isn't resignation, but information and action. I want you to pay attention right now to the 6 most common signs of poor circulation in the legs. And honestly, ask yourself if any of them are already part of your life. Recognizing them early can make a huge difference. The first warning sign is heaviness and fatigue in the legs. It's the most frequent symptom and also the most normalized. That feeling of reaching the end of the day and feeling like your legs weigh a ton, as if you were dragging 2 blocks of cement. Walking becomes more difficult, climbing stairs becomes a struggle, and you just want to sit or lie down. This isn't just simple muscle fatigue. It happens because the blood isn't returning to the heart as efficiently as it should. It accumulates in the veins of the legs, causing stagnation. This stagnation increases the pressure within the veins and encourages fluid to leak into the tissues. It's like a massive traffic jam at rush hour. Everything moves slowly and the system becomes overloaded. It's venous congestion, not just laziness. The second warning sign is swelling, also called edema, especially in the ankles and feet. You may have noticed it when taking off your socks and seeing a deep indentation that takes a while to disappear. Or perhaps your shoes are comfortable in the morning but feel tight by the afternoon. This happens because as pressure increases within the veins, some of the blood leaks into the surrounding tissues. Imagine a pipe with too much pressure that starts to leak. This swelling isn't just a cosmetic issue. It's a clear sign that your veins are working under constant stress. The third warning sign is painful nighttime cramps. This is often one of the most distressing symptoms. You're sleeping peacefully, and suddenly, An intense pain in your calf or foot jolts you awake. The muscle becomes hard, tense like a rock. The causes of cramps can be varied, from mineral imbalances to nerve disorders. But poor circulation is very often a determining factor. If blood flow to the muscles is insufficient during the night, they don't receive enough oxygen or eliminate waste products properly. This environment irritates the nerves and promotes those sudden, painful contractions. In short, these cramps don't happen by chance. Often, they're another way your body is asking for help. The fourth warning sign is cold hands and feet. You've probably said it before, "Doctor, my feet are always like ice cubes, even in summer." And that's not an exaggeration. The temperature of your extremities is one of the clearest indicators of your circulation. When blood flow is poor, the warm blood coming from the body's core doesn't reach the extremities with enough force, like the toes and fingers. Then, in an attempt to protect vital organs, the body narrows the small blood vessels in those areas. The result? A constant feeling of cold, even if you're bundled up or it's warm outside. It's not that you're sensitive to the cold. It's that the blood isn't reaching them as it should. The fifth warning sign is changes in the skin and the appearance of varicose veins. Look at your legs, especially around your ankles. Do you notice that the skin is drier, tighter, shinier, or has brown or purplish spots? These changes occur because chronic poor circulation deprives the skin of the oxygen and nutrients it needs to stay healthy. Over time, this lack of nourishment can make the skin fragile and, in advanced cases, lead to ulcers that take a long time to heal. And of course, there are the infamous spider veins and varicose veins. They're not just a cosmetic issue. They're a clear sign that the valves inside your veins, those tiny gates that prevent blood from flowing backward due to gravity, are failing. The vein dilates, becomes deformed, and the blood gets trapped. It's the visible map of a circulatory system crying out for help. The sixth and final warning sign is tingling, numbness, or itching. That pins and needle sensation, that numbness for no apparent reason, or even a persistent itch in the legs, also tells a story. This is called paresthesia. Although it can have several causes, it is often related to insufficient blood flow. When nerves don't receive enough oxygen, they can't properly transmit signals to the brain, and these strange sensations appear. Itching, especially around varicose veins, is usually due to inflammation caused by stagnant blood. Now I want you to be honest with yourself. Have you identified with one, two, or several of these signs? If the answer is yes, it's not time to panic, but neither is it time to ignore it. It's time to listen to your body. Your legs are telling you that their internal pathways need attention. And here's the good news. Much of that maintenance can begin from within, with proper habits and strategic nutrition that supports the health of your veins and improves your blood flow. Before introducing you to the star vitamin, I want you to understand something fundamental. In health, just like in sports, no game is won with a single player. You need a complete team working in harmony. The vitamin I'm about to reveal is like the goal scorer, the one who decides the score, but without a good defense and a solid midfield, it simply can't shine. That's why, first, let's meet three great allies. Three vitamins that prepare the ground, strengthen the structures, and create the perfect environment for blood to circulate without obstruction. Ignoring them would be like trying to build a tall building without a firm foundation. Sooner or later, something will fail. The first ally is vitamin C, and I like to call it the architect of your veins. Think about the walls of your veins for a moment. They aren't just tubes. They are living, flexible, and resilient tissues, capable of withstanding pressure every day. What does that resilience depend on? A fundamental protein called collagen. Collagen is literally the steel and cement of your vascular system. And this is where vitamin C comes in. Without vitamin C, your body can't produce good quality collagen. It's that simple. When this vitamin is lacking, the walls of the veins become more fragile, lose elasticity, and weaken. And weak veins are much more prone to dilation, deformation, and leading to problems like varicose veins. Although we know that other factors, such as genetics, a sedentary lifestyle, or spending many hours on your feet, play a role, It's logical to think that poorly constructed veins are less likely to withstand the test of time. That's why strengthening collagen is a basic strategy for protecting your circulation. But vitamin C doesn't stop there. It's also one of the most powerful antioxidants available. This means it fights free radicals, unstable molecules that act like tiny sparks, damaging the inner lining of your blood vessels. When that lining remains healthy and smooth, blood flows better, and inflammation or micro-tears are less likely to occur. Now for the good news. Getting vitamin C is easy. Many people think only of oranges or lemons, and sure, those are excellent options. But they aren't the only ones or even the most potent. Red bell peppers, for example, have almost 3 times as much vitamin C as an orange. Kiwis, strawberries, papaya, and broccoli are also real powerhouses of this vitamin. My recommendation is simple. Try to include at least one rich source of vitamin C in every main meal. That way, you'll be giving your veins the building blocks they need to stay strong, elastic, and protected every day. Second ally, the B complex, specifically vitamins B6, B9, folate, and B12. I call them your blood vessel deep cleaning team. Imagine for a moment that a toxic waste product called homocysteine circulates along the highways of your blood. It's a normal byproduct of metabolism, but only as long as it remains at low levels. The problem arises when this substance accumulates. In excess, homocysteine becomes corrosive. It irritates the inner lining of veins and arteries, making it rougher, promoting inflammation, and increasing the likelihood of blood clots. It's as if the road stops being smooth and starts filling with potholes. This is where our second great ally comes into play. Vitamins B6, B9, and B12 work together as a highly efficient recycling system. Their function is to transform homocysteine into harmless compounds that the body can reuse or eliminate without any problem. When one of these vitamins is deficient, the cleansing system slows down. And when the system slows down, homocysteine levels rise. That's why maintaining good levels of this trio is key to protecting your veins from the inside out. Now, something very important. This doesn't mean you should rush out and buy supplements on your own. Large studies have shown that taking B vitamins without a clear deficiency doesn't guarantee protection against heart attacks or cardiovascular problems. The real goal is to get them from a varied and well-balanced diet. Where do we find them? Vitamin B9, or folate, is present in leafy green vegetables like spinach and chard, and also in legumes such as lentils, beans, and chickpeas. Vitamin B6 is abundant in foods like chicken, turkey, salmon, tuna, chickpeas, potatoes, and bananas. Vitamin B12 is found almost exclusively in animal products: meat, fish, eggs, and dairy. For this reason, people who follow vegan diets should monitor their levels and, under medical supervision, consider supplement. So far, you have 2 solid pillars for taking care of your circulation: vitamin C, as the architect that strengthens the walls of your veins, and the B complex, as the cleaning crew that keeps your internal pathways clear. If anything I've explained so far has resonated with you, if you felt that someone finally put into words what your legs have been telling you for a long time, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way you won't miss part 2 or the upcoming content I prepare each week. And I'd like to ask you, which of the 6 signs do you identify with most? Heaviness, cramps, swelling, cold feet? Let me know in the comments. Sharing your experience helps others feel less alone. Let's continue. We have one more ally, and then the main protagonist. Third ally, vitamin K2, the GPS of calcium. This is undoubtedly one of the most fascinating nutrients, and for a long time, one of the most overlooked. When most people hear vitamin K, they automatically think of K1, which is abundant in leafy green vegetables and plays a role in blood clotting. But today I want you to focus on its less famous and far more strategic sibling, vitamin K2. I call it the GPS of calcium for a very simple reason. Calcium is essential for strong bones, but when it becomes disoriented and ends up deposited in the wrong places, such as the walls of the arteries, it becomes a serious problem. This is called arterial calcification, and it's one of the processes that makes arteries rigid, hard, and less able to adapt to blood flow. This is where the magic of K2 comes in. This vitamin acts like a true traffic director. On the one hand, it activates proteins that help transport calcium directly to the bones and teeth, where it's needed. On the other hand, it activates proteins that prevent calcium from accumulating on the walls of the arteries. In other words, vitamin K2 tells calcium, your place is in the bones, not the veins. This is no small detail. Observational studies have found that people with higher vitamin K2 intake have less arterial calcification and better cardiovascular health. Now, a very important warning. If you take anticoagulants such as warfarin, acetocomerol, or Centrum, you must be especially careful. These medications interact directly with vitamin K. Abruptly changing your intake of foods rich in K1 or K2 can alter the effect of the medication. So, in that case, any dietary changes or use of supplements should only be done under medical supervision. Where can we find this calcium GPS? Vitamin K2 is produced by bacteria, which is why it appears mainly in fermented foods and high-quality animal products. Some notable sources are natto, a Japanese fermented soybean food, the richest known source. Aged cheeses such as Gouda, Edam, or Brie. Egg yolks, especially from pasture-raised hens. Butter and ghee from grass-fed cows. With vitamin C strengthening the walls, the B complex clearing harmful waste, and now vitamin K2 guiding calcium to the right place. Your circulatory system is starting to have a complete protective team. And we still haven't met the star of the show, the vitamin that acts directly on blood flow and vein health. Let's get to it. We've reached the crucial moment. The vitamin that takes center stage for its direct impact on blood flow and the protection of your veins is vitamin E. If vitamin C is the architect that builds strong walls, and vitamin K2 is the GPS that places calcium in the right spot, then vitamin E is the silent bodyguard of your circulation. It's there, working quietly, preventing damage, smoothing blood flow, and protecting every inch of your blood vessels. And the best part is that its action goes straight to the heart of the problem of tired legs. First major function, improving blood flow. Within your blood are cells called platelets, whose job is to form clots when you cut or wound yourself. That's normal and necessary. The problem arises when these platelets become too sticky and start clumping together for no apparent reason. Vitamin E has a natural anti-platelet effect. This means it helps prevent platelets from sticking together as easily. The result is blood that circulates more freely, more easily, and with less resistance. When blood flows better, more oxygen reaches the muscles, reducing stagnation in the legs and decreasing that feeling of heaviness, pressure, and fatigue. Simply put, vitamin E helps your blood flow, not pull. Now, a crucial clarification. This beneficial effect also comes with responsibility. High doses of vitamin E in supplements, especially if you're already taking anticoagulant or antiplatelet medications such as aspirin, clopidogrel, warfarin, or similar drugs, can increase the risk of bleeding. The blood could become too thin. Therefore, before supplementing, the rule is clear: always consult your doctor. Vitamin E is powerful and should be used judiciously. Second major function, antioxidant shield for veins. Vitamin E is the body's most important fat-soluble antioxidant. This allows it to penetrate directly into cell membranes, including those that form your blood vessels, and protect them from within. Free radicals, those unstable molecules generated by stress, poor diet, smoking, or pollution, attack the walls of blood vessels, making them more fragile and inflamed. Vitamin E neutralizes these attacks before they cause damage. Furthermore, it protects blood fats, including LDL cholesterol, from oxidation. And this point is key. The real problem with cholesterol isn't just that it's high, but that it oxidizes. When that happens, it becomes much more harmful to the arteries. Vitamin E acts as a shield against this process. In short, vitamin E performs two critical functions. It keeps the blood flowing more smoothly and protects the walls of blood vessels from daily wear and tear. That's exactly what legs that are crying out for help need. And now that you know the allies and the main player, you're much better prepared to start changing the course of your circulation today. Third major action of vitamin E, supporting vasodilation. Let's return for a moment to one of the most common symptoms, cold feet. That persistent feeling of cold is usually not a problem of external temperature, but rather of insufficient blood flow. When blood vessels are tense, rigid, or inflamed, blood simply doesn't reach the areas furthest from the heart with sufficient force. This is where vitamin E comes into play again. Various studies suggest that it can help blood vessels relax slightly, promoting gentle vasodilation. In other words, the vessels widen a little. And that small change makes a big difference. A wider channel allows more blood, more oxygen, and more warmth to circulate to the legs and feet. It's not a miracle pill or a one-stop treatment, but it is a valuable piece of the puzzle. Every little helps. And when you add several pieces of support, the result is noticeable. So let's put everything into perspective. Vitamin C builds strong veins. B vitamins clear harmful waste products. Vitamin K2 directs calcium to the right place. And vitamin E ensures that blood flows smoothly and without obstruction. A true team effort. Now for the practical part. Where can you get vitamin E naturally? Primarily from high-quality, healthy fats. Sunflower seeds are true champions. A small handful a day provides an excellent amount. Almonds and hazelnuts are perfect as a snack. Cold-pressed vegetable oils, especially extra virgin olive oil, always used raw. Avocado is creamy and packed with nutrients. Vegetables like spinach and broccoli also provide other valuable antioxidants. Including these foods regularly is a simple and powerful way to give your circulation the support it needs. Small daily changes. Big cumulative results. This is how you build better vascular health. Knowledge alone doesn't transform anything. The real difference appears when you put it into practice. That's why I want to show you how everything we've talked about can translate into a normal, simple, and realistic day without complicated diets or exotic ingredients. Think of this as a sample day, a flexible guide that you can adapt to your tastes and schedule. Breakfast. Antioxidant and protective kickstart start with a bowl of whole grain oats. Add a handful of strawberries or other berries for vitamin C. Incorporate a small handful of slivered almonds or sunflower seeds, great sources of vitamin E. Pair it with a boiled or soft-boiled egg, which provides vitamin B12 and a natural dose of vitamin K2. This breakfast gives your body sustained energy and gets your vascular system going early. Lunch. The powerful salad. Prepare a large, colorful salad. Use spinach or a mix of leafy greens as a base. Add a protein like grilled chicken, turkey, or cooked chickpeas, which are rich in B vitamins. Add strips of red bell pepper for a boost of vitamin C, fresh tomato, and chunks of avocado for vitamin E. Finish with a simple dressing, extra virgin olive oil, and a squeeze of lemon. Simple, tasty, and incredibly effective for your veins. Dinner. The repairing dish. A portion of baked or grilled salmon is an excellent choice. It provides vitamin E, B vitamins, and omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation. Serve it with steamed broccoli and asparagus, which add folate, vitamin C, and vitamin K. A light, nutritious, and easy-to-digest dinner. Optional extra. Supportive green juice 2 or 3 times a week. You can prepare a simple juice. A handful of spinach, 2 cucumbers, a green apple, the juice of 1 lemon, a small piece of ginger, and a drizzle of olive oil. Blend with water and drink it fresh. This juice is a complement, not a meal replacement, but it adds an extra boost of protected nutrients. When you look at the whole day, you realize something important. It's not an extreme diet. It's simple choices repeated consistently. And that consistency is what, over time, translates into lighter legs, fewer cramps, and circulation flowing properly again. That's real power in your hands. We come a long way together. We started by listening to your body, identifying those often ignored signals: heaviness, cramps, swelling, cold legs. And now it's time to return to the big question. Can a vitamin dissolve an existing blood clot or clean damaged veins? The honest and responsible answer is no. A blood clot is a medical emergency, and its treatment falls under the realm of specialized medications and professional supervision. There are no natural shortcuts. But here's the truly powerful part. We can use nutrition to prepare the body, to create an environment where blood flows better, where vessel walls are stronger, and where the risk of these problems arising is lower. That's real prevention. That's long-term medicine. Today you met the whole team working to achieve this. Vitamin C, which builds and strengthens vessel walls. The B complex, which helps clear harmful waste products. Vitamin K2, which directs calcium to the right place. And vitamin E, which protects the blood and promotes its flow. The health of your veins doesn't depend on a miracle pill. It depends on a comprehensive approach. A diet rich in these nutrients, daily exercise. Walking remains one of the best medicines, good hydration, and a healthy weight. It's small decisions, but repeated every day, that change the course of things. And now, the most important warning. This content is educational. It's intended to give you tools, not to replace your doctor. If you have persistent symptoms, chronic illnesses, are pregnant, or are taking medications, especially blood thinners, it's essential that you consult with your healthcare professional before making any changes or taking supplements. Remember this. Every meal is an opportunity. Every choice is a vote for your circulation. Thank you for watching until the end. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone who might need it. I'm Dr. Leon Ferrer. See you in the next video.